Hey guys, welcome to today's video where we're going to be discussing the Carolina Panthers offense and what to expect from them in 2020. Before we get started, please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow, and I hope you enjoy the video. So when we start talking about the Carolina Panthers offense, we need to start the conversation about the new offensive coordinator in Joe Brady. Brady has experience with the Saints. He was in the Saints coaching system a few years ago, and he was part of the offensive coaching staff last year at LSU. So what can we expect from a Joe Brady offense? Firstly, you can expect a lot of points, you can expect a lot of touchdowns, and you can expect the ball going to the Panthers playmakers. Joe Brady's talked a little bit about a playmakers in space kind of offense. That means giving the ball to the playmakers that can do what they do best. So basically, Brady's offense is about giving the ball to guys that can succeed in open space and move the ball downfield. He likes to use a spread offense a lot. If you look at the success that he had last year with Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the passing game, you're going to see similar success with CMC, Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey is already an established passing back, but you're going to see Christian McCaffrey just have a seamless transition into this new offense, as Joe Brady has utilized a lot of running backs in his passing game before, obviously at LSU, and he's been familiar with running backs in a passing game in New Orleans, where obviously Alvin Kamara has had a lot of success. Also, just expect Brady to be a really good offensive coordinator. I mean, this guy started drawing up plays when he was like 5 years old, and look what he did with LSU last year. He created one of the most high-powered offenses that college football's ever seen. So expect basically the Panthers offense to absolutely take off next season. But however, I need to start talking about why they will take off. It's not all Joe Brady. It's also about the players they have. Let's start with the new quarterback they brought in to replace Cam Newton in Teddy Bridgewater. Bridgewater is a veteran quarterback coming out of the NFL draft. Big things were expected from him, but he got injured and missed all of 2017 basically. And really, it was last year in 2019 when Drew Brees got injured for a few games where he came in, stepped up, and really showed that he can still be an NFL quarterback. In 9 games last year, he threw for 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, while throwing for a 68% completion percentage. Those are really good numbers. What the Panthers are going to need from him, they're going to need him to be able to be a smart football player. They're going to need him to be a great game manager. I mean, that's kind of what Teddy Bridgewater is. He's a great game manager. And if he doesn't turn over the football a lot, then I think this Panthers offense can really succeed. As I talked about a little bit earlier, Joe Brady likes to use a spread offense. He likes to put 5 wide. He likes to have a lot of receivers as well as a running back in the passing game, which also means that there's not going to be any extra protection for the quarterback. This means that Teddy Bridgewater is going to need to get the ball out of the pocket really quickly, and this is something he can do well. He's also super accurate. So I think Teddy Bridgewater is a great guy to have in Carolina. Now let's move on to the running back, which is basically where the entire offense revolves around. Christian McCaffrey can do it all. He can run the football. I mean, last year he had over 1,300 yards rushing the football. He had over 1,000 yards receiving. I mean, he was a Pro Bowler and a first-team All-Pro member. He was all over the place, and he was absolutely phenomenal last year for the Panthers. He is what the offense revolves around. If he's in the passing game, look for him to get open. If he's running the football, he's going to have similar success there. I mean, he had 15 rushing touchdowns last year, and he had 4 receiving touchdowns. He had 19 total touchdowns on the season. I mean, this offense really revolves around him. The only problem with him, for me, is how many targets he's getting. After a while, after all the targets he's going to get, there's going to be wear and tear on the body, and we don't want Christian McCaffrey to get injured because that Panthers offense will be a lot less explosive. Nonetheless, if they can find a way to make Christian McCaffrey just as efficient by giving him a little bit less touches, make sure he's healthy, and this Panthers offense can take the next step. I mean, McCaffrey is the best running back in the league, hands down, because he can do it all. He can run the football. He can move in open space with the football. He can catch the football out of the backfield. So he's really just an all-around weapon for this Panthers team. Now I want to talk about the wide receiving core. The wide receiving core is exactly what Joe Brady likes to utilize. At LSU, he had a lot of speedy wide receivers. If you look at guys like Jamar Chase, if you look at guys like Justin Jefferson, he had a lot of wide receivers that could move and move quickly and do really well with the football. So let's start with DJ Moore. DJ Moore was absolutely awesome last season. He had 87 catches for just under 1,200 yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. He's a quick, fast wide receiver who's a great route runner. And he finds open space, catches the football, and is just a very dependable option for whoever's playing quarterback. In this case, it's going to be Teddy Bridgewater. Bridgewater's a super accurate passer, so he's going to look to find DJ Moore. DJ Moore is the leading wide receiver in the system. Now I want to talk about Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel is a speed demon. He's just a speed guy. I mean, he had 54 catches last year for 627 yards and 6 touchdowns, and they also used him in the run game a little bit. He had 19 rushing attempts for 130 rushing yards and one rushing touchdown. So he's utilized all over the field as a speed weapon. Look for him to stretch the field. And another guy that can stretch the field is a guy they brought in, Robby Anderson, who formerly on the Jets, but now he's going to play for the Panthers. He's another speed guy. They have so much speed in this offense that they're just going to be able to stretch the field a lot. Last year, Anderson, as the main receiver there in New York, had 52 catches for just shy of 800 yards and 5 receiving touchdowns. He's constantly, he had 15 yards per reception last year as an average. He constantly spreads the field. He makes corners' jobs really difficult because he can just blow by anyone on the football field. So look for Robby Anderson, Curtis Samuel. Those are the big speed guys there. And then DJ Moore has speed too. These wide receivers in Carolina have so much speed that I'm really, really scared for any of the corners that they're going to be facing. Now I want to talk about the tight end, Ian Thomas. Ian Thomas is going to be the starting tight end this year after Greg Olsen's departure. Greg Olsen is now in Seattle, and the longtime Panther is no longer in Carolina. So what can we expect from Ian Thomas? Ian Thomas, he's a big 6'3", I think 260 tight end. And last year in 16 games, he only had 136 receiving yards and 16 receptions. However, the thing with Thomas is he's big and he can go up and catch the football. So especially in Joe Brady's offense that likes to have a lot of spread looks, maybe 5 wide, look for Ian Thomas to get a bigger target share, also because there's not Greg Olsen there. So he's going to be the starting tight end next year. And look for him to just improve on those numbers. He's going to be a red zone threat. He's going to be a red zone target just because there's no real red zone guy on this offense. I mean, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, and Robby Anderson aren't receivers that go up and catch the football. Christian McCaffrey is kind of just used in the red zone just as an all-around threat. But Ian Thomas, I think, is going to get a heightened look in the red zone. So watch out for that. Also, the most important part of any offensive unit is the offensive line. So let's talk about that. Last year, the Carolina Panthers offensive line was pretty bad. I mean, obviously they allowed Christian McCaffrey to do really well. However, they gave up 58 sacks. But that won't happen this year because they brought in Russell Okung from the Chargers in exchange for Trey Turner. Yes, Trey Turner is a big loss. However, I think those 58 sacks can't happen again if they want to be a better offensive unit. So bringing in a guy like Okung, a veteran guy who actually didn't give any sacks last year. Yes, he was injured for a majority of the season last year, but for all 257 snaps that he played, he allowed 0 sacks, which is a great number. And also across from him on the other side of the offensive line is Taylor Moton, who is an absolute beast at the offensive tackle position. Having Moton and Russell Okung at the bookends of that O-line is just going to make that O-line a much better pass protection unit. I mean, if they're going to run a lot of spread offensive looks, 5 wides and stuff like that Joe Brady has utilized in the past, I mean, they're going to need as much offensive line support as they can possibly get because they're not going to have a blocking tight end there. They're not going to have extra protection. So that means Okung and Taylor Moton are really going to need to step up. And also the interior of the offensive line isn't terrible. They have guys like Daley and Matt Paradis, who's been good in the past. Really, John Miller didn't do that well last year. But overall, I think this offensive unit, Russell Okung and Taylor Moton, can be really, really solid. And with that said, I mean, they have an improved O-line. Those 58 sacks aren't going to happen again. They have a lot of speed at wide receiver. And if you look at where the game's going, the NFL's going with guys like Tyreek Hill and other speedy wide receivers like that, you can see that speed at the wide receiver position is absolutely crucial. So they have speed at the wide receiver position. They have a lot of guys that can make plays in open field. They obviously have Christian McCaffrey, who's the best running back in the league. And overall, I think this offense can be really, really good. Last year, they were pretty much an average offense just because of Christian McCaffrey. That's how much he did. But other than Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore, there wasn't a lot of juice on this offense. So I think with the improved quarterback that they have now, Teddy Bridgewater now, instead of Cam Newton, who obviously had injury problems, was aging, and they also got rid of Kyle Allen. So it's really Teddy Bridgewater's show now there in Carolina. So look for an offense that really utilizes playmakers in open space, uses this Joe Brady idea of they're going to want to throw the football a lot too. And I think this Panthers offense can be really, really exciting to watch. So buckle up, Panthers fans, and get excited for this Panthers offense in 2020.
Now that you've reached the end of my video, I want to thank you for watching.
Please like and subscribe as it helps my channel out. And check out my other videos on my channel. Also, you can follow my Instagram. The link is in the description down below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, see ya.